Welcome to the Undercard Supercast for October 21st. I'm your host, founder, editor, 1982 World's Strongest Man runner-up of Undercard Superstar, Luke Irwin. Joining me tonight, resident Meshuggah of Undercard, Ben Cohn. Our music video superstar, he flew me to places I've never been, and I knew he was trouble when he walked in, Earl Montclair. Lastly, he'll have the same Halloween costume this year for the 18th straight time, kid who eats a disgusting amount of Frankenberry, Nolan Howell. Breaking news coming down the pipe, Dateline, Mexico City, Mexico. Cain Velasquez injured. We are now looking at Mark Hunt versus Verdum for the interim UFC Heavyweight Championship. Ben, what are your thoughts on the matchup, and how many dozens of people will they pack into the arena for a Brazilian versus New Zealand title fight in Mexico?
Well, I mean, it can't be any different than an American versus a Brazilian, considering Cain speaks less Spanish than Verdum does. Verdum is more familiar with the Mexican crowds, considering he's the UFC Spanish broadcast. He broadcasts in Spanish for the UFC. So I don't think there's going to be any hurt to the gate. I think it's the first card in Mexico, so they'll probably be fine. Although, the fight itself, Mark Hunt's getting a title shot in 2014. This is the greatest thing that has ever happened in the history of combat sports. Ever! Seriously, I don't give a shit that it's an interim title. The title! A UFC heavyweight title shot for Mark fucking Hunt. Okay? Sure, it's against the guy who's probably going to sub him or not, or something in the first round, but it's Mark fucking Hunt in a title shot. I'm sorry, Nolan just shit himself, it looks like.
He always looks like that.
Yeah, that's true. I'm really excited for the fight. It's really good to see Mark make such a great comeback. It really is a feel-good story and all that shit, but he's left a pile of unconscious bodies as he walked away from them in his wake. And if Mark somehow wins, the Santos Mark Hunt rematch, possibly. That fight fucking rocked. Mark Hunt getting brutally knocked down notwithstanding. Sorry, Nolan.
Earl?
Yeah, I don't have tickets. I didn't check it. Tickets have long since been on sale for that Mexico card, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so I mean, card subject to change on the ticket. They should be, no worse for wear on that. It's not like people aren't going to show. But I mean, in all honesty, this is really pretty fucking great. I mean, it sucks that Cain is hurt again, or should I just say still? But like, I'm glad they're going to do an interim belt with it. It absolutely should be for an interim belt because Cain can't be trusted to be healthy. And Verdum, it's really, it's very cliche with any Mark Hunt fight, but if Fabricio stands with Hunt, Hunt's gonna fucking knock him out. And if the worst thing that could happen for Fabricio is if Muay Thai Verdum shows up. If Fabricio can get in on him and get him to the ground, this isn't Roy Nelson. It's not Ben Rothwell. It's Fabricio Verdum, the best heavyweight grappler in the world. And he's going to submit Mark Hunt, but if it's really just like either way, it's a win-win. Honestly, for me, I love Verdum and I love Hunt, so it's really somebody's getting a belt that I'm going to be super happy that they got. So I'm happy.
Obviously, this is fun. This is interesting. It sucks that Cain couldn't fight. The problem for Hunt is, unlike Hoy Nelson, Verdum is not afraid to go to the mat. And that could, I know Hunt is a very good base, as Nolan will point out. He's very hard to get down because he is actually wider than he is tall. So he's very hard to drag down, but Verdum is not afraid of doing that. And Verdum is certainly capable of giving out a good ass-kicking, too. He's thrown and he's landed with some of the best. So it'll be interesting. I think Verdum just has a little bit. Verdum can be cracked, but I think he has a few more tools in his bag than Hunt does. You know, one punch can neutralize everything. But as of right now, I'm going with Verdum. I'll probably flip-flop back and forth a few times, but that's what I got, and it's making the best out of a shitty situation with Kane, but it does spice up the landscape a little bit. Molden?
There are very few things in MMA that really excite me anymore in terms of, like, you know, everything's just kind of falls in place and it's like, oh, okay, you know. But this is something that I've been waiting for, you know, a good while now, and it's something that not many thought would come to fruition in terms of Mark Hunt actually getting a crack at the title. Win, lose, I'm happy he's gotten there, and, you know, in 2014 when he was, you know, 3-4 years ago, people were writing him off as a joke. It's a great story for him. He's made more money along the way than, you know, even though he says he's not hood rich yet. He's as a Hunt fan, I'm very happy for him. The fight in and of itself, you know, I agree with everyone's assessment in terms of Verdum's got more tools there. Standing, I think Hunt, you know, he has the edge. Whether or not he kind of lacks in his game standing because he's afraid to get taken down remains to be seen. That could always negate some of his tools. But it's a very interesting fight. Competitive. It's a competitive fight as well, which, you know, I mean, Verdum definitely has a definitive advantage and, you know, all the tools, like Luke said, but you know, the one punch thing, the K1 experience is just an awesome fight. It's awesome for Hunt, and you know, Mexican fans shouldn't be turning in their tickets, even if there isn't a Hispanic individual in the main event. This is more than worth your money.
Onward and upward, award season time. It was a shallow week, but not without big performances across the globe. In keeping with football season, who wins your golden bullshit pass interference call? Florida State. And who takes home the olfactory, offensive, unmistakable golden poop? Ben?
Golden interference thingy.
That's a sportsman right there.
I'm sorry, I only follow real sports.
I hope he scores a touch point goal.
We're not doing a football podcast, Ben. What real sports do you follow?
Legit, what is that sound?
It's Tom's pet, or his pet 18-wheeler in the background that keeps acting up.
Okay. Anyway, golden thingy
Golden interference call.
Golden interference call is gonna go to Gennady Golovkin. It's the only fight I watched, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do, which is win by a brutal knockout. Not sure what's next for him. I mean, the only person who anyone would want to see fight Floyd at this point that they think can beat him is probably Golovkin. So they can put that together, but I doubt it. Golden poop. I really want to. I just want to give it to overall this reaction by many fans to Conor McGregor that I just keep seeing over and over. It's random, I know, but this is the fighter who's probably going to bring attention finally to the featherweight division. I don't really care for him, but he really does draw views. He is a draw. Support the fuck out of him. Support him, whether you like him or not. Support him. Show the UFC brass that featherweight is worth promoting. Get him to a title fight with Jose Aldo. Get him a shit ton of buys. Even if he loses, keep him around the top 5 somehow. Keep him in the eye of everyone. Why are you trying to just...
The problem is, Ben, he is being shoved down our throats in a time when the UFC steadfastly refuses to promote just about anyone or anything. He's not letting us support him and promote him. It's not growing organically. He's being shoved in our face constantly. more than champions.
I agree with you there, but we're the hardcores. To the casuals, he's not being shoved down their throat. He's being displayed. For us,
There's no more casuals.
there are. There still are. They show up for the. There aren't 1 point. Let's say there's still 160 million buys on hardcore fans. Their casuals exist. They just need something to pay for. And I think that he is somebody that they would pay for. That's all. So, in a time where there's such a downtrend of popularity, let's push the guy who is popular.
Earl?
My golden correct pass interference call goes to basically the exact opposite of what Ben said. But I'm not going to go on about Conor McGregor anymore. I'm going the golden poop, even though I could give it to that entire Bellator card, and I could give it to Josh Neer for having nothing off his back after 48 years in the MMA game. I'm honestly going to give the golden poop to this entire Kong Lee situation. He failed his drug test, got suspended for a year, and now the UFC has rescinded that, and he is not suspended for a year anymore. It's a clusterfuck of a situation. There was all these problems with the testing, everything else, but the fact of the matter is, and not to do the fucking eyeball test, but Kong has never looked like that in his 42 years ever, and now he just strolls up in his early 40s looking that way, fails the test, and he's going to get off due to some mishandling of the test and some imperfections with that. It's not, I mean, it's his fault, whatever. I mean, he's guilty of sin, but he's not. But at the same time, the real problem is like you're going to start expanding into these international areas. You're going to start the testing and ramping it up more. And this is like your first foray into it, and it's just a catastrophic failure. It just kind of just shows, that no matter what goes on, it's going to be the same circus act bullshit that we run into with all the NSAC hearings and everything else. It's just going to be a bunch of garbage. So it's a really, really bad start to that program. Really, really embarrassing. And, I mean, Kung's done for anyway, so it's just a bunch of nonsense over essentially nothing.
My golden ACC refs pass interference call. Two guys. First off, Nicholas Walters may have retired a legend in Nonito Donaire. Donaire was they went Manny, Floyd, and Nonito for many, many years. And he was an absolute legend. He was dominant. And he was kind of already on the downswing, but Walters put an absolute ass beating on Donaire, and Walters is now a name. He was a champion going in, and he was a favorite, which his belt and has a gigantic TKO notch on his belt now. And also Steve Cunningham. That was a very emotional night. His daughter's awaiting a heart transplant. His daughter and his family were in the crowd in the ECW arena, as it turns out, which actually they gussied it up very nice there. And yeah, he went into a fight, even at weigh-in time, 73 pounds lighter than his opponent, Natu Visinia. He weighed in at 205. Visinia came in at 278, and they had a really hard-hitting, knockdown, drag-out match. And yeah, it was fun. He got knocked down in the 5th. He came back, battered him, stopped him in the 7th. Family celebrated in the ring. Just a good scene. NBC Sports put together a good card and a pretty enjoyable way to spend a Friday night if you're going to watch fights. Nolan?
Kind of thrown for a loop here. Luke took, both my considerations. So I'll just go off the map here for the golden justified pass interference that screws Notre Dame out of a national championship they don't deserve because they fucked West Virginia over in the 80s. I'm going with Damasio Page. He's strung together a nice little win streak and legacy. He's doing things the right way, as it were, on the regional scene. Working his way back to a UFC spot, hopefully, a very impressive run there, and you can't really ask much more of a guy to get wins, a belt, and a regional promotion on a nationally televised card. So good for him. Golden Poop. I got to give it to Josh Neer just in terms of you train with the Diaz brothers. You're like the third Diaz, they say, and you get on your back. You don't do a damn thing but whisper sweet nothings into Paul Bradley's ear. You whine to Big John McCarthy about not being stood up and how it is in action, and you babble like a Diaz brother. You lose in the main event of probably the worst Bellator card of all time. You just don't have a lot going for you, dude. You should probably get out of the sport or, continue to drunk drive down the wrong way of the road or whatever the fuck you do in backwoods Iowa or wherever the Midwestern crap hole you're from. It's just embarrassing on all levels. Should probably hang him up, friend.
Dateline, Los Angeles, California. News on the UFC television front, as light heavyweight Dan Cormier has been named the permanent co-host of UFC Tonight on Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 2. If you were running a talk show, which 2 or possibly 3 fighters would you want to host your show, Ben?
I mean, the easy one to pick is obviously Chael. Talks a lot. He's pretty good at it. Really not much explaining needed for that. But one person I actually feel like who's a better trash talker than Chael, Bisping. Bisping's intelligent. He's got the fact that he's from England, so it's going to be like an international flair for those idiots who care about that shit. But I feel like he's a better trash talker and he's a better talker in general than Chael because he's not really saying outlandish and crazy things. He just says the truth, but it's hilarious and insulting. So it's really fun. Hi, Margarine. Demon cat. Behind you on your right.
Oh, yeah, she is there.
She's staring, and it's terrifying. And I think that those two would work together. We know that they actually like each other. We know that they're both they both have the gift of gab, per se, so they would interact well with each other. I feel like they should also have someone to both play off of in the sense that they can insult him. So they need someone who's like super serious all the time and doesn't really know how to talk very well.
Goldie.
What?
I just said Goldberg.
Not. I don't exactly have a third, but I would say somebody like Rockhold because that kind of inability to take a joke or to react properly to somebody trash talking or just talking down to them, just like, no, I'm gonna fuck you up. Well, and then it's awful. I want to see something like that. 2 awesome talkers, and I'm basically a stooge for them to insult the whole time.
So I basically have an idea for a podcast. Well, I have 2 ideas for a talk show. 3 of them just involve some of my favorite MMA people. So I would have the Joanne Calderwood, touchy-feely Marcus Brimage show. That would be very entertaining to me and a little off the radar. But if I could pick the best show for me, and it would only involve 1 fighter, it would be Taylor Angle, Andre Feely, and 50 pizzas.
That's so retarded.
All right, hear me out here.
That's all.
Horse Bennett, Mark Hunt.
What? How would that even work? Mark Hunt doesn't walk, and Crazy Horse is crazy.
Maybe Mark Hunt just plays drops in the background.
With
Everybody would be
infield.
Everybody would be clamoring to get on the show. They could talk about whatever they want.
Infield reporters Mayhem Miller and Matt Hamill.
All the good ideas have been taken. Man, I can't believe Earl read my mind on the old Taylor Angle Pizza Andre Fili thing. My exact pick. I do like Ben's idea. You got to have the trio. You got to have the Conan, the Andy, and then the Max Weinberg / Jimmy Vivino. So I kind of like the trio there. So I guess host wise, I'd have to go with Chael too. Unfortunately, he's easy on the eyes. He'll get the lady viewers in. He's witty. For the guy on the couch, you got to go with someone a little wacky, a little off
someone who doesn't speak English as a first language, like when WCW would have Juventud Guerrera.
I was going to put Elden
occasionally.
Couch.
Just broken English and getting slang wrong.
Actually, yeah. Let's put Khabib Nurmagomedov on the couch. He has a pretty good sense of humor. He'd be fun. And then for your straight man, I guess you have to go with someone who just is the most Ben Henderson would be the best straight man. He would just. Yeah.
And one of the segments of the show could just be Goldberg reading his Twitter timeline.
Who's this Nolan Howe kid who keeps tweeting me and calling me Mike Goldenbug and Michael Goldenberger?
Dude, it should just be Mike Goldberg reading Serbian memes.
Dude, fuck you. Dateline Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Finally, some live pay-per-view fighting returns this weekend. This Saturday, on the pay-per-view, it's UFC 179, Aldo versus Mendez 2. We will run down the sorely depleted main card here. Left to right, Ben, starting with you in the lightweight division, Beneil Dariush takes on Carlos Diego Ferreira.
I would say Dariush, probably by sub. Probably. Maybe decision. But sub or decision.
I'm taking Ferreira.
I got Ferreira by decision.
I think I'll go Ferreira by decision as well.
In the featherweight division, Darren Elkins takes on Lucas Martins.
Martins, probably KO.
Yeah, Elkins is on a really crappy streak right now. I think he's definitely hit his ceiling and is kind of coming back down to reality. But, God. I'm going to take Elkins by decision tentatively. I'm not thrilled about it.
Yeah, I'm not really... Yeah, I'm not stoked about either one of these guys as someone who can really... I mean, Martins has good power, but I'm not sure if it's stopping Darren Elkins in his tracks kind of power. He also once tapped to strikes, so I don't know. I think Elkins can kind of ground him into dust, so I'll go Elkins split decision.
Martins tapped to strikes?
Mm-hmm. Barboza.
I thought he was just knocked out. I didn't know he tapped.
No,
I
think he was out.
I'm gonna tap you. Shut up.
Yeah, Lucas Martins is not very good. Darren Elkins is at least solid, and he's well-rounded enough to where he can control where this fight goes. So Elkin's decision.
In the light heavyweight division, punching bag Fabio Maldonado takes on Hans Stringer.
Fucking Hans Stringer, Fabio Maldonado.
I think Hans Stringer sounds like a guy that Nickelodeon would put in a cartoon made about, like, if Nickelodeon did a Deadliest Catch-esque cartoon, Hans Stringer would be like the captain of the boat or something.
Captain Langer!
Maldonado via body punch Nolan Howell ecstasy.
I think this is kind of I think this fight's kind of a thank you to Maldonado for taking that Stipe fight. So, yeah, I think Maldonado can beat him up, maybe take a second or third round TKO.
Hans Stringer sounds like a diplomat from Lethal Weapon 6. He's not gonna have a fun night come Saturday, and Fabio Maldonado is going to make him pee blood. Maldonado, second round TKO.
In the co-main event of the evening, in the light heavyweight division, Glover Teixeira takes on Phil Davis.
This will be fun to watch. Phil Davis's anemic striking will do nothing for him. He's not going to get a takedown against Glover. I don't see him, and even if he does, I see Glover getting up. Decision for Glover. Not going to be a good fight, though.
Wait, when is the pay-per-view card?
What day or what time?
No, like, when are we going to talk about the pay-per-view card fights? So, this fight really, Phil Davis is not going to get the gift decision in Brazil he got against Machida. It's just a totally different fighter. Glover, God, dude. I think Phil Davis is going to get a unanimous decision, and it's going to be dreadful, but that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think this fight's going to suck all of it. It's going to be boring. Glover always looks like he's just one fight away from retired or his body completely shattering into 1,000 pieces. And Davis is basically just Davis could not give less of a fuck a lot of times. So it's going to be ugly. It's going to be kind of dreadful, and Davis is going to take it by UD.
I'm going to go on a limb and say Davis's striking is going to be very porous, and I think Glover will take advantage of it. If not, Davis is going to hold him up against the fence, maybe get 4 or 5 takedowns en route to a decision. But I'll go Glover first round TKO because Phil Davis's striking is not impressive, to say the least.
Yeah, but Phil Davis is no Ryan Bader, so he's not going to go unconscious in the first round. Okay.
Fuck your mother. Listen.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I went a little heavy there.
Wow.
Phil Davis actually has some of the best defense standing up statistically in UFC light heavyweight at light heavyweight right now, which is the weirdest.
Elias, that
it's just weird. I'm just saying, it's weird that he's so awful at it. He has really good defense.
And in the main event of the evening, for the UFC Featherweight Championship of this world, Jose Aldo defends against Chad Mendes.
Yeah, Aldo's going to win this, and it's going to be by knockout again. I think Mendes will last longer. So second or third round, I would say late second round probably. I don't see him getting a takedown on Aldo for the most part. I don't see him being able to keep him there, even if he does. As good as Mendes has looked, and his striking really has improved, technique-wise, yeah, the best striker he's faced in his 5-fight win streak is Nick Lentz. Renowned striker, Nick Lentz. Yeah, no, Aldo's going to win this, and it's going to put an end to the debate of who's the number one at right now.
till Conor McGregor gets that title shot.
That's right.
Oh,
Yes.
Yahtzee. Balderdash.
Chad Mendes will have learned not to take Aldo down near the fence. Chad Mendes has improved his striking immensely, his footwork immensely, chaining takedowns and strikes immensely. And that all combined with the fact that this is going to finally be the fight where Ngannou pays for all the weight cutting issues and all that kind of stuff. Everything is going to come crumbling down for Aldo in this fight. Chad Mendes, 4th round TKO, and absolutely no Conor McGregor title shot when a powerhouse wrestler is the champion of the division.
Nova is going to have a very sharp eye on them for a lot of reasons. Their cage grabbing is getting pretty damn notorious now too, so something also to they'll probably be watching. I think Mendes has learned, and I also know that he should be paying attention because Aldo is one of the worst fight enders. I mean, I don't mean finishing. I mean in the later rounds. I can't remember a 5th round that Aldo won, or at least won decisively. Shit, Mark Hominick almost stopped him in the 5th, and he had another life form growing out of him. So Aldo's 4th and 5th rounds may finally come back to bite him in the ass this time because Mendes has a fantastic gas tank, and those guys as the alpha males, they tend to get, they don't slow down, and if anything, they tend to get better as the fight wears on. So I am going to say that Mendes will get a stoppage in the blasted 5th round to become the champion of this world.
That is a strong take there, my friend. Don't say this often, but Ben Cohn's right. Jose Aldo, I just don't see Mendes having anything for him, unfortunately. I think Aldo, I think he squeaks by. I think he gets the first 3 rounds. He's able to keep him at bay, and then he kind of gasses near the 4th and 5th. And I'll say Aldo wins a unanimous decision, but it's going to be closer than the first fight, which isn't saying much. But I think Mendes will show his tools, but I don't think it'll be enough still. So I'll go Aldo to retain a unanimous decision, probably 48-47.
Also, in regard to the first thing you said.
And that'll do her.
That will do her, as they say, for this week. Tune in next week and every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Undercard Supercast. Visit us at undercardsuperstar.com. Tweet us at undercardsuper. And as always, fuck Ben Cohn. And as a bullshit...